Peace and harmony. Hope everybody doing their thing, staying in tune with their highest self, staying in tune with spirit, and living and living life in the high heart frequency. So I'm gonna get it right quick. This video is all about the new moon in Scorpio coming up November 7th, 8th, and 9th. Like I said, usually this energy lasts at least like 3 days around that realm. And sometimes we can feel it like a week or even more before, a week or so after. So yeah, Scorpio. I'm just basically going off my notes because I just had this beautiful catching a vibe, channeling just some energy from my higher self, and I just straight up got in some notes, and I'm just gonna put the work in right now. But yeah, Scorpio is dealing with fixed water, aka those icy waters, and it deals with our desires, and as a zodiac sign, it stems from our sexual organs, representing fertility, creativity, and passion. And it's represented by the scorpion, and it deals with our dark desires, both positive and negative. And when I say dark desires, I mean like behind the scenes, the behind the scenes realm, integrating our spiritual realm and shadow realm aspects. The shadow self, integrating our shadow self as well, with no neglect, just unconditional love for every aspect of our being. Yeah, and it's that connection between the yin and yang, our higher self and our shadow self, our divine feminine and our divine masculine, intertwine to complete our whole cycle, our whole energy cycle. And to both aspects there is a positive and negative, but it's to each his own, because it's our own balance, it's our own fluctuation, it's our own expansion and contraction. You feel what I'm saying? And dealing with the Scorpio energy, it is a strong connection to shamanism, that shaman type vibe, being able to go into the darkest parts of yourself and the lightest parts of yourself, and still be you, adapt accordingly, adapt as you feel, adapt as you see things, and not really losing a part of yourself, definitely shed or let go of the aspects that are no longer needed, but at the same time to continuously growing, continuously pursuing your spiritual path wholeheartedly, most definitely. That's really what it's all about. Yeah, just being able to travel through all aspects of what you see and feel. Both being able to travel through those beneficial energy, frequency, and vibrations, both within, so without, as above, so below. We have these energies within us, and then we see these reflections on the external as well. But it's all about that inner work, that inner harmony first and foremost. Being aligned with spirit, being aligned with your most high self. Your higher self, connecting with the Creator. Because we are no thing, we in no box. Spirit is no thing. It can't be put into any words or anything like that. It's just we just all infinite beings having a human experience, most definitely. And actually, I got a little affirmation I'm gonna put in, but I'm gonna save that for a little bit later. And, with this energy, it's dealing with, it's kind of like a balance too, because it's right in the middle of that Scorpio energy, that Scorpio that feeling. So at times, it could fluctuate between negative or positive. Like I said, it's all depending on our unique perspective, our unique being, depending on what's positive and negative for us, right? I'll get back into this for a minute. It's also, dealing with that watery energy. It is a time to like, for lack of a better word, to soak in your emotions. That energy emotion, to soak in that energy emotion, but at the same time too, being able to let go or forgive yourself, and heal yourself from maybe past traumas or things that you feel like you didn't didn't complete to your best ability or something like that. But yeah, it's definitely you want to be able to be detached but attached at the same time. You got, and that's for everybody to each his own. Everybody has their own way of detaching and attaching, but you definitely got to be consciously aware of what you're attaching to. Make sure you focus on the beneficial things to your spiritual journey, to your being, while you're here in this realm of reality. Most definitely. And it's just a sense of feeling like I've been catching the vibe lately. I put it in my notes as I was doing this channel writing, just about how we are moving in the right direction, how we are. Everything is flowing in the right way. Everything is flowing in divine order. So you just gotta have trust and faith within yourself to know that everything will be, everything is in the now. That being said, too, just to continue to grow, learn, and embrace your spiritual path. Some things, you can adapt right away. Some things some things take a little bit more time, but by all means, by all means, it's gonna be all good, That being said, too, a lot of healing energy comes with Scorpio a lot of the time. And, it does deal with that sexual organs, that sexual nature, that deep passion and that desire for what you truly want and what you truly deserve. So by all means, that sexual healing is definitely, an aspect that's going to come up in some way, shape, or form, whether it's a physical representation or maybe a spiritual representation. It can be one or the other. It can be both. But by all means, when you're flowing in alignment, when you align with your higher self, you truly just intuitively know what the best step is to take, where you want to flow next, what you want to do next, and what is beneficial for you or the people around you. Most definitely. Excuse me really quick, I'm gonna get a drink. But yeah, with that being said, well, yeah, like as above, so below too. Like with the sexual healing, sexual healing deals with fertility, creativity, passion. So like, it could be healing for your. Like you could just get a burst of random new ideas, and they're all gonna. As you plant those seeds, they're all gonna come to fruition. Maybe not all at the same time, but pretty close. It's gonna be like connecting the dots. Or for sexual healing on like a physical level, you're gonna meet your twin flame, your soulmate at the right time, and everything's gonna come together. It's gonna create a whole new creative spark, a whole new venture or idea or whatever it is. To each his own on that, because all our paths are a little bit different. But in some way, this energy all plays out, and we're not. This is the energy wave that's coming through. This is the energy that's presently at hand in the now. So by all means, we got to utilize it to our advantage. Whether you a water sign, fire sign, earth sign, whatever, air sign, whatever. But we all have this energy within us. We all have our own elemental makeup, our own little alchemical mixture. So by all means, you got to utilize our elements for our path, for our beneficial circumstances, most definitely. Also, with that being said, I feel like, and I've seen, and just writing in this, channel writing I was doing, like I said, just going off my notes, it's very, very, very beneficial at this time just to sit in silence. Whether it's 10 minutes for some, 10 hours for some, 10 days for some, whatever it be. Sometimes like everything comes together when you just sit in silence with yourself. You just have that sacred place of silence where you can meditate. Various different forms of meditation. Maybe work with crystals. Maybe work, whatever it be. You can just really channel your inner being, your higher self, and work on different aspects of yourself. Whether it's that spirit essence, maybe working on your mind, your way of thinking, being able to cleanse your mind, or work on your body. So maybe you're having some cramps or some type of bodysuit irritation. Maybe you can work on that. Maybe work on flexibility, stretching, maybe even work out now and then. But some way, shape, or form, when you sit in silence with yourself, you're gonna realize these things with you realize, and know exactly what to do, know exactly what's out of balance, know how to get more in harmony with yourself. So that way you're just feeling good always. I mean, which we are feeling good always, because spirit, when you really have that spiritual alignment connection, that you always just feeling like great, like Tony the Tiger. They're great. Some shit like that. You just always feeling good. But then it's always a balance too, because you gotta balance the bodysuit. The bodysuit has needs. This clay animation has needs sometimes. So sometimes you gotta to each his own. You gotta find your way to balance everything out. And the only person that can tell you what your balance is you, because you're the only person that knows your perspective. Everybody has a little bit different perspective. But as we all come together, as we all communicate, we all collaborate on ideas, and these things just get built up, building up on more like different healing energies, as well as just a more harmonious living, so where we can just express ourselves and just be ourselves around our soul tribe, or whatever you want to call it. Most definitely. So with that being said, actually, I'm gonna talk a little bit about the moon just in general. So the new moon energy. So as the moon is, waning or shedding or whatever you want to call it, that's kind of the time that everything is released. So leading up to this new moon, everything is being released. This is a great time to just release the things that you no longer desire, no longer wish to focus on, or have, kind of like a detachment phase, like a detachment detox, I guess you could say. That's the time to just detach, almost kind of even lay back and just let things develop in front of you. But as this new moon comes around, that's the time when you're planting those new seeds. You focusing on that new desire. You raising up that creative energy, that creative fertility, that passion for that thought, concept, idea. Whether it's a person, place, or thing. You put that passion towards it, and then as that new moon comes forth, like for instance, on this is the 7th, 8th, 9th, that energy. Start taking that inspired action wherever you feel that inspired action. By all means, put your efforts into it. Don't wait on anything. Just get up. But make sure you come from a place of inspired action. Never force yourself to do anything. Flow within inspired action. With that being said, like as that new moon, after that new moon comes up, and we start to after you get into like the first quarter, second quarter, 3/4, and back around to the full moon, that's when all the realizations come through. That's when the fruits from that seed have developed. So basically, that's kind of like the cycle of the moon. Just to speak on that real quick. I'm sure I'm a little bit, maybe everything's not coming across as clear as I want it to, but I think for the most part we get it, right? But yeah, just always remember that whenever after every full moon, when the moon is waning or shedding, whatever you want to call it, that's a time of release. And then from the new moon to the full moon is a time of inspired action, the time of developing and taking inspired action on those new ideas. That's basically all I have for that on my notes. I'm going to jump into, I'm going to talk about some crystals really quick, but I also want to talk about, a couple of totem animals, because I was actually doing just some totem animal channeling, very much so, just letting the mind drift with the current in the heart, and the ones that really came up that really resonated with me were, you know, rattlesnake, peacock, and then yeah, those two very much so. There's a couple other ones too, but these are the ones I want to talk about first and foremost because rattlesnake is very much so dealing with that Scorpio energy. Very much so like a scorpion that has that venom, that poisonous venom. That venom can be used to detach and let things go, or it can be a form of psychic attack towards yourself. You can accidentally sting yourself. You can accidentally poison yourself. So you got to be really consciously aware of how you're doing things. And very much so, make sure every aspect of your being is in alignment. From the bodysuit, make sure your bodysuit's feeling good. That's on an external. Your mind, that's a little bit more of an external level as well. But spirit, first and foremost, that's the most important thing. Make sure you're always aligned with your spirit. Make sure you truly have that attunement with your spirit. Like you're tuned in a radio, you're tuned into your channel always. Your channel is always the 0, the 1, all the way up to 9, you know. And then, you know, you can also, support or communicate or collaborate with your reflections on the external. But we gotta first and foremost gotta make sure you aligned. And you know, rattlesnake very much so deals with death and rebirth, creativity, fertility, and all of these things. So it's a strong correlation to Scorpio and Scorpio season in general. And you know, peacock is, you know, just that bird that has its own, to get into that real quick, has its own natural shine, has its own uniqueness. So by all means, be unique in your own way, even if it comes across goofy, even if you are not always sure of yourself at first. You know, work on cleansing those things, letting go of those things, and just be yourself. Let your natural self shine. You know, get your shine out first. You know, most definitely. By all means, too, like you don't want to, like, not to be too preachy or too whatever, but you know, don't hold those things into a point to where you know that creative holding turns into like a implosive bomb or something like that. For lack of a better word, that seems kind of funny to say, but you know, you definitely got to express what you truly feel, whether it's happy to angry to peaceful to violent, whatever. Express it in your own unique way. I'm not saying go crazy with it, but definitely pay attention to your emotions. Definitely do your own thing on how you balance your emotions, how you create your own energy, emotion, harmony. You know? And by all means, if you're feeling something, that's what you're feeling in the moment. You know, don't be definitely like the most poisonous thing you can do to yourself is be too judgmental to yourself. You don't want to judge yourself like, too harshly. By all means, let it be. Like the same thing like how I brought up with intuitive writing or just channeled writing. You know, just write. Don't just write. Don't focus too much on what you're writing to an extent to where you're judging every little thing that you're writing. Let it be. The judgment type thing, the analyzation thing comes in later to where you can analyze what you wrote or whatever you're doing and balance those things out. Pick the things that you want to put into an art project, whether it's music, painting, jewelry, or even something else like building a new business, building a product, whatever it be. You just let it be in that moment. It's perfect within that moment, for lack of a better word, I guess you could say. But, that was just like the real strong vibe that I was catching, very much so from Totem Rattlesnake and Totem Peacock. It's the time just to let things go. Let any stagnant emotion, just let it go. And it's a deep healing and a deep rebirth for the ancestors as well. Healing your ancestors is a great time to heal your ancestors, as it does deal with that shamanism type vibe. Got it? I mean, because the ancestors are within us. We are the ancestors. We are the children at the same time. That makes sense. Some of you get it, some of you don't. But if you're feeling it, you're feeling it. Yeah, it's just a deep time. That's like the best way to describe it. Just a deep healing, a deep, like the waters run really, really deep. But at the same time, too, don't get lost in any illusion of the waters. Like you don't want to soak too much in the waters, but you definitely want to have that connection. So you just know that it's truly you, and what you could work on, and what you need to, and what you could put forth, and what you can bring to the table, I guess you could say, in your own unique way. I don't want to get too much into like that. These human words be a little bit funny sometimes. I'm not trying to confuse nobody, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. But yeah, the next thing to get into is I want to talk about some crystals, because crystals are always a beneficial thing to work with. They're just a reflection of these energies that we have within us. Always remember that. It's always an important thing to acknowledge. Crystals are just a tool to help deprogram your subconscious, as well as program your subconscious so that you can always be in that alignment state. You can always be in that spirit state. Sometimes, like you never really need anything. I always say that, but crystals are just a beautiful thing to work with. So I want to shout some of this out. So labradorite would be a very good one to work with. It does very much so with Scorpio energy. Another one would be peridot. You're dealing with that abundance, that willpower. So like dealing with that new moon, after that new moon comes through, after you're working on these things, you feeling these energy waves, and you know how to utilize it to the beneficial aspect of your being. Take that inspired action whenever you feel inspired to do something. By all means, get up and do it. Also, yellow topaz. That's a very strong one for Scorpios and Scorpio energy in general. Me personally, I don't have a piece of yellow topaz. haven't had that beautiful luxury of working with that crystal at this point. But some other beneficial ones, dealing with that same energy would be amber or yellow calcite. Both stimulate that solar plexus or sacral chakra type area. But yellow calcite is also a high vibrational crystal that helps align all chakras, all energy orders, all energy pools within the body. So it's definitely a very beneficial one to work with. And with that being said, too, carnelian, dealing with that creative energy, that sexual energy. That's a very beneficial one to work with. Whether you're male or female, you can also pair that with snowflake obsidian or a different type of obsidian, which I'm going to get into that a little bit too. But yeah, just in general, carnelian is a very beneficial one to work with. Kind of deals with that comfortability just within your bodysuit, within your skin, as well as having that creative passion to create things with confidence. That confidence vibe. Garnet deals with that in the same way too. Deals with that passion. But it deals with a little bit more stability, a little bit more rooted ability too. So like for sexual healing, getting back into that really quick, for females, it would be very beneficial to work with carnelian and snowflake obsidian, or carnelian and smoky quartz. And for males, it would be garnet, snowflake obsidian, or garnet and smoky quartz. Or you can just combine all those together just to get a whole perspective, a whole new perspective. It's all up to you, to each his own. I would also throw in red jasper. Red jasper is a very beneficial crystal to work with because it deals with, that sacred, earth type energy. It helps, connect to the earthly ancestors as far as like a physical aspect. So that's a very beneficial one to work with. You can also pair that with smoky quartz or, obsidian, black obsidian. It's all about whatever resonates with you. If you're really feeling it, if you're really digging it, by all means go with it, no matter what nobody say. And bringing up the obsidian. So this obsidian is kind of like a disclaimer in a way, because certain things, if you're not super advanced, like you don't have to be advanced. You can be a big beginner, intermediate, advanced, whatever with crystals. But sometimes with obsidian, you have to be careful with it because it is kind of like the no-nonsense teacher. It's a real, raw, authentic type crystal sometimes. So if you're working with obsidian, you just want to acknowledge that and know. I mean, if you're really feeling it, go with it. If not, by all means, it's all good. But yeah, definitely, like if you want a little bit lighter vibe to it, you might want to work with some snowflake obsidian or moshighni obsidian. But if you really want to get to the deep, dark root, being able to see your shadow aspects, communicate with your shadow self, your shadow realm aspects, you might want to deal with some black obsidian or Apache tears. Apache tears is a very good one too. Just dealing with that real, raw, and authentic. Being able to let go of grief and just release these things. These are very beneficial crystals to not only release, but bring new healing, bring new neutral energy to benefit your being in some way, shape, or form, or benefit a person, place, or thing in the external as well. Another really strong one, this is a disclaimer too, you want to be careful, but merlinite, and I think there's a couple different merlinites, but the one I'm talking about is indigo grabo. I don't know how to pronounce these, my apologies for the pronunciations, but merlinite's a very beneficial crystal to work with. For those who are not familiar, it kind of looks like snowflake obsidian with kind of like a goldish pyrite type color in it as well. So it's like a trio color, and it very much so deals with shamanism, magic, and like what do I say? It's like a shadow aspect in general. There's another word I wanted to really describe it, but anyways, yeah, merlinite's a very good one to work with. It's definitely good for shadow work, I guess you could say. So it's like even that paired with obsidian would be a very, very strong combination. But by all means too, you gotta kind of be careful with it, because if you're not advanced, if it's your first time working with it, then you might not want to do it like that. You might want to pair it with some selenite or something like that, just to lighten up the vibe a little bit. Because it is a real raw, authentic crystal. Sometimes it can get you, especially if you have a lot of shadow aspects that you haven't worked through, or you've been neglecting, or you've been kind of stagnant with, you just kind of holding on to something, then it could be a little bit difficult to get through. I guess for if you want to put it into words. But yeah, merlinite's a beautiful one to work with. Also, shaman stone, that would be a very beneficial one to work with, as this energy does deal with a lot of shamanism and shaman type vibes. Just being sensitive to energies, being able to see, being able to intuitively see and feel things, before they necessarily happen, or just get to the deep, dark root of things sometimes, as well as being able to go and shine through your own inner light. Definitely. Always some beneficial ones that I recommend to work with, especially within this energy, just to pair with some of these crystals, as we are doing kind of like a deep shadow type work, healing type energy, would be selenite or black tourmaline, or both together, because they are going to help cleanse and release that stagnant energy, or anything that you've been holding on to, or anything that's anything that just needs like an extra boost of healing, I guess you could say. Because black tourmaline very much so deals with that transmuting that negativity to a positive, and selenite kind of deals with that angelic, just overall just clearing it. It would be a very beneficial crystal, even if you don't want to necessarily work with it. Have it there so you can, let your other crystals clear and charge and whatever, rest near it or even on it. Also, dealing with this moon energy, any type of quartz is very beneficial to work with, whether it's clear, smoky, citrine, amethyst, lemurian, they're all beneficial to work with. Clear quartz being able, it's a high vibrational crystal, being able to program it to how you choose to go about it. Just a very beneficial crystal in general. Just with, I don't want to get into it too much, but because we all know exactly what these crystals embody, the reflection of our energies, most definitely. But, smoky quartz dealing with that, that wisdom from the unseen, in some way, shape, or form, as well as that strong protection energy and cleansing and transmuting non-beneficial energy as well. Citrine, as we are dealing with this new moon, spring you into new action. It's a very good one to, create inspired action, as well as bring in new abundance, and just have that, solar plexus type vibe. So for when you want to get that inspired action in, you can use this crystal to definitely spring into action. Also, a very beneficial crystal to work with too. Just to give a quick shout out to Tiger's Eye. Tiger's Eye is a very beneficial one to work with, especially a paired with citrine, or even both those on their own. Amethyst, just to get into that real quick, is just for that intuitive sight, just having that intuition about what you want to see within your life, whatever creative desire you want to create, be able to see it, visualize it first and foremost, and then take inspired action on it, as well as have that cleansing energy, that violet flame healing energy as well. It's always a great one to have around. Miriam, connecting with the ancestors, connecting with your physical ancestors, spiritual ancestors, if you're star seed, whatever. This is a very high vibrational crystal, and it will be very beneficial to work with at this this time, healing of the ancestors, as well as healing your inner child, as well as we are both these things at one. We are both the ancestors and the children. So that resonates cool. Also, I personally feel like Amazonite is very beneficial to work with, as it is kind of like a watery element type crystal, as well as it's very good for just intuitive writing, channeled writing, as well as being able to express yourself in an artistic way, because it's very good for artists. So if you were in a project that deals with some art in some way, shape, or form, Amazonite's a very beneficial crystal to work with, and it also deals with repelling those EMFs, letting keeping those things away from your being at this time too. Be very beneficial to just stay away from electronics. But to each his own. Sometimes you just want to lounge beyond your human shit. Maybe watch a TV show or movie just to kind of lay back and lounge. To each his own. But sometimes too, you might want to actually focus in on things, focus in on creating something, focus on your creative desires. Maybe sometimes get in that space of silence. Sit with yourself and connect with your inner being. However it goes, it's up to you, most definitely. Also, another one to work with would be Malachite. Malachite deals with that divine feminine, as well as balancing that divine masculine energy as well. It very much so deals with that heart energy, that truthful energy. It is kind of like obsidian in a way too, because it comes with a disclaimer. You got to be careful. Malachite is going to amplify whatever energy you have within yourself. So if you're angry, it's going to amplify that anger. It's going to amplify that frustration. It's going to amplify that poison. You got to be careful with it. Or if you have that inner harmony, it's going to amplify that peace. It's going to amplify that joy. It's going to amplify that creative desire to just do whatever it is you're passionate about. So by all means, that's a very beneficial one to work with, but you might want to be careful with it at times too, because it is one of those ones that's going to be a little bit more raw with you. That energy stems within us. It's that reflection of that inner energy within us. Most definitely. But you can also pair it with selenite or something like that to help cleanse your energies if you're feeling a little bit unbalanced. And also, like the one I always recommend dealing with any cycle of the moon is Rainbow Moonstone. Rainbow Moonstone is definitely a good one for the heart and high heart area. It's having that truthful, authentic vibe. It's that storm element that has just sparking new creative ideas, most definitely. And that's basically it for all of that. One other thing I want to jump into is just this quick this little information that I actually mentioned earlier about all this. Excuse me, really quick. But yes, so the affirmation is, I'm an infinite being. Excuse me. I'm an infinite being, bringing healing to all who choose to listen. So by all means, the freedom of choice. You have the power to choose. You have the power to choose to heal yourself. You have the power to choose to heal others. You have the power to choose to listen to somebody else that has a healing aspect. Once again, I'm an infinite being. I'm an infinite being. Damn, why am I fucking up my own affirmation up? Come on. I'm an infinite being, bringing healing to all who choose to listen. Most definitely. Whether all types of beings, whether it's other beings in their human clay animation bodysuits, animals, environmentals, elements, whatever it be, Mama Earth, most definitely. Just bring that healing energy, that sacred energy exchange as well. This is as long as that Scorpio energy, it's going to be a strong pull or push in some way, shape, or form about sexual energy exchange. So if you do have that relationship in your life with to each his own, however you choose to go about it, not judging nobody, but however it be, by all means, if you feeling inspired to do your thing, get your thing on, by all means do it. But, if you choose to kind of wait on it, then by all means, if you're really feeling it, do that as well. And like with Scorpio energy too, you never want to be again, not to sound too preachy, but you never want to be too like over sexual. You never want to repress your sexual energy. You gotta utilize it some way, shape, or form. It doesn't always mean like a physical aspect, but you can utilize that creative energy, that passionate energy to create, like I said, like a different, like a certain project, a new idea, some art, some way, shape, or form, a new business idea, whatever it be. Utilize it in some way, shape, or form, but don't be like repressive to it to where it becomes like a deviant sexual desire or something. That's a form of really non-beneficial imbalance. So you definitely want to cleanse that some way, shape, or form. If it does come up, don't repress your sexual energy. Embrace your sexual energy. Utilize it for a creative desire. That's what this energy is mostly all about. So that's basically it. Yeah, with that being said, I'm just going to end it there. Peace, and harmony. Hope everybody doing their thing, staying in tune, living and loving life from the high heart frequency. We're just going with our own personal flows. To know with these creative desires, most definitely. What is it you desire?